Just doing a little bit of troubleshooting right now. Hold off. I'm about to explain how to map out everything here shortly. So just give me a couple minutes. Hey guys, still doing some troubleshooting. Give me a couple more minutes trying to test sound and a few other things really quick. So give me a few minutes and we'll get started. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and map out our charts for this week into tomorrow. First thing we want to do, we want to zoom in and we want to put that right there at open, the middle VWAP band. Let's go ahead and make this thick. These bands are the most important bands. These act as our 4-hour band, in this situation. Meaning, we broke below here. Pretend this is the Asian low. We broke below it, and now look, now downtrend. As long as we stay under middle VWAP and positive 1 VWAP band, will continue to downtrend. The perfect downtrend is under middle VWAP. Okay. So these will be the most important bands right now into tomorrow as well. Now, if we do break under here for tonight, then this can be where we can have an expansion lower into the lower ranges. So let's go ahead and push to the 5-minute, and let's get those mapped out. So lower range is going to be into here. We can make this purple. Gives me an indication that we're about almost 50% of the way through this purple band at this demand zone here, and lining up with a previous day VWAP band as well. All right. And into this lower VWAP level, which will be another zone that we'll have into tomorrow, tonight. This we want to have definitely mapped out as well. So we'll put there at the bottom of this more recent low, and we can drag it up to our most recent high. Now I do see a flat top here. Typically we like to go past these flat tops. However, we do have a larger M shape here. So that is occurring as well currently. All right, now what we want to do is see if we can find something that makes sense using this trend line here. We'll use it off the bottom of this wick. That lines up okay for now. And then we'll see if we can take this one and create a more defined one. No. Pull that in a little more. I really don't like it. We're going to scrap that. I think this one may make a little bit more sense here. All right. I think I'm a little more happy with that right now. However, the session just started, so these lines probably adjusting some. Okay, most important zones for now are these two VWAP. Okay, the opening and the previous day. This is acting like our 4-hour. Okay, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of, don't need that. What else can we delete? Let's get this stuff out of the way. We can do something like this. Okay. So the most two important band areas right here are these two. If we're below, we'll come down into here. If we can't hold here, then most likely we'll drop into this and these lower zones down here. Okay. Obviously, if we can't hold 61.8, kind of this area here, most likely down into here, guys. Okay. These in between lines, support zones, are just my bounce zones. Okay. I would assume that if we can't hold this level right here, 61.8, then we get down to our 23, maybe down, here or lower. Okay. So that's going to be a nice setup. If we can't hold, this lower VWAP band, then most likely I would assume if we can't hold here and can't get back above into this range, I would assume that we come all the way down into these zones. Okay. And these lines are just going to be our bounce zones plus. Get a nice bleed down. And again, these are our bounce zones. This zone lines up pretty good with 23.6 down here at these lower VWAP bands. So if we were coming down here, I would be looking for a nice reversal, potentially around here, if we can hold above this level only and we continue to break through the upper horizontal lines. If we don't and we keep rejecting or we reject, then obviously we can get down into here. You have to keep breaking up into the upper zones to continue. This is also lining up with the VWAP here. 2, 3. So probably 1, 2, 3. So probably like right around here is gonna be, right around here is gonna be a nice bounce level. Let me make that a little thicker. I'm testing out a new theory here. When I get 3 VWAPs, this one, and this one, all close to each other, what I've noticed is it usually splits the difference of the lower two ones. So this one is the lowest, this is the second lowest, this is the third lowest. So it usually splits the difference of these two when we get the bounce. That's what I've been noticing lately. And y'all guys can go back test it and check for yourselves. All you do is get, scroll left and you look at where price bounces, what it's been doing lately, how it's reacting around your VWAP zones and multiple VWAP zones together. And you back test your theories on what, has happened in the past. Okay, so that's a good So, okay, so now that we have this kind of mapped out right here, so we have our fib all the way up to here. Okay, our 100% move so far. This is the most recent low and the most recent high. So I always like to draw my fib there. I know that we have to hold above 61.8 to continue to go up. If we look on our hourly, I would assume the 200 is probably right here. So let's check. Let's go to the hourly. No, it's not. It is the 200 close. It's, well, not that close. 200's here. Okay, so 200 is basically lining up right just under the bottom of, or sorry, just above the bottom of our range, which makes sense actually. Makes more sense because obviously if we can hold this 200 here and we break out of this previous day range, and whoosh, down we go. Okay, so that does make some sense actually. Okay, what happened the last time we got to the 200? Well, we came here, we rejected, we did a 1-2 reject, then we powered up over it and we tried to hold above, but look, we couldn't hold above and we ended up falling through, trying to hold and couldn't. Came all the way down into Friday. What was that? Friday the 8th? No, Wednesday. We bottomed out Wednesday and then we up Thursday and Friday. Okay, boom, been pumping. And now again, we got back over the 200, come down, held support, bounced up, made a little bit higher high than here in this demand zone to the left here. And now, if we're going to continue to push higher, obviously, we need to get above this zone, previous day, upper VWAP band for that expansion higher into, most likely, if that happens, most likely we'll get up into these zones right here. Okay, we'll get either a little bit lower or a little bit higher before we'll get a nice rejection. Okay, now what I was thinking would happen on Friday, 30,114 is a huge resistance zone. So I was thinking we were going to get a little bit higher into the 114 level, like right around here, which is just a tinge over, I think, this most recent high right here. So, or another most recent high. So it's at 3,089. Get up here a little bit higher and then, flush down. Okay. And I was thinking we were going to, come a little here Friday and then start the move downward. Okay. However, that didn't happen. Could it still happen? It could. It could, but if we do hold above 114, 120, 30,000, 114, 120, if we do hold above that, then obviously we'll get up into these zones here, the 250s, 260s, 340s, these levels up here. Okay. So that is pretty much what we're looking at for this evening and into tomorrow. Another thing that's important to do, let's grab, so we already had plotted this point, then we got the next highest point, I believe, which would be, well, it's actually coming over here now. See if this makes sense. Boom. We can do something like that now too if we want. And now we're in this little thingamajig here. Okay. So this is all-time high. And these are some more recent zones as well. Let's see what else. What else? Let me pull these over a little bit, just in case we do start to run up into these zones here. All right, let me, this VWAP right there. There it is. Perfect. Make that one a little thicker. Okay, because if we can hold above here, this zone, most likely we can get up here to close to this 800 zone. So that's about 500. As long as there's no other VWAP zones in between here, I'm pretty sure we can get to, excuse me, the 500 zone. Okay. There it is, right there. Boom. That was a little high. Sometimes you do got to go back in here and adjust your VWAP levels because I feel like they kind of move them around sometimes after you already plot them. So you definitely want to make sure that, here's another one. You definitely want to make sure that they're lining up accordingly. Otherwise, we got three close together. Let me put it right there. There we go, boom. Into here. Another VWAP zone. How many points is that? 507 to 140, 30 points or so. It's a good move. Remember, guys, the most important lines are on the screen are the baby blue ones. Okay, VWAP to VWAP. This looks like when you have these three zones together, this is chop, 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 chop. Okay, but once you break, come, and you can get going to the next VWAP zone. Okay, so these VWAPs look to be lining up okay. Got one here, here, there. One at 844. And we can add another one here at 844. Boom. Add that. We have our support and rejection zones happening. And we have this ascending triangle taking place as well. So definitely looks like we can be doing this number right here. So best buys are going to be off this lower trend line. Best sells are going to be up closer to this upper purple trend line. And if we do break underneath here tonight, I'll be watching to see if I can get into a sell to take it lower down into these zones potentially. It does look weak. We are below our two main levels right now if you're trading tonight. So as long as we remain below here, okay, we'll continue to go downward, which lines up being underneath the 200 EMA, the middle VWAP band, and your previous day. So boom. Okay, so that's kind of what we got looking for tonight. And then as far as news into tomorrow's the 13th. So no news Monday. Usually no news Mondays. We like to go higher. Maybe tomorrow's different. You never know. But majority of the time, no news Mondays, we go higher. Well, I'll keep an eye on that to see if any of those folders turn orange or red, but they're all yellow right now. We do have FOMC member Waller speaks. The 14th June, we have BOE Gov Bailey speaks. That's a red folder. Look out. And we have core CPI red folder 7:30 a.m. And then Fed Chairman Warsh testifies 9 a.m. and then another 3 p.m. So a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts Tuesday, a lot of data, a lot of speakers. Wednesday PPI, core PPI, that's going to be big market movements there, 7:30. And then shoot more red folders overnight into 8:45 a.m. BOC monetary policy report. And then Thursday 1 a.m. they got a GDP folder. And then we got some orange folders, 7:30 a.m. core retail, which moves a little bit. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index retail sales. And then Friday, really don't have nothing till 9 a.m. So Friday may be a late starter when we get the Perlum UOM consumer sentiment. Okay. So definitely into July, make sure that y'all guys are having tight stops at the VWAP zones, because last Friday at 9:32, Trump something and it had this big red candle right here. I think this was it right here. Was it 9:30? There it was, yeah, 9:30. Look at that. Trump couldn't get past the 940 level, I believe. Yeah, right here. We were trying to get over the 940, couldn't. Trump put out news and whacked everybody. I got whacked on that one. I got whacked on that. However, I did have my stops in place, so it wasn't too bad. But I didn't get a whacking here for sure. I was waiting. I wanted this thing to pump up, didn't, but all good. Happens. Okay, so just a little recap. Most important zones are going to be here right now. If we hold above here, we expand up. If we don't, then we range in here. And if we hold below here, we expand down. These are going to be our bounce zones right now. These are our sell zones right now. And if we can break above, look for the expansion. Could this be a W and go up? Yeah, it could. Could this be a M and go down? Yes, could. Can morph to whatever. At the end of this point right here is when it will actually probably break up above and or break below and then make that move. However, remember, if you break above here, but you come back down into it, most likely you'll continue all the way down. Okay, vice versa. If we break down here, come up and you don't reject here and you get back up into it, most likely you'll expand up higher up into here. Okay, that's how that works. Sometimes too, when it's doing all this, boom, 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 and when it finally makes a move, what happens, I noticed too, it'll only come halfway and then go up. Okay, so look out for that. It can go like this, and then one of the times it's just going to come halfway and then go up, or it's going to go like this. It's going to come halfway and then come down. So keep an eye on that. Okay, that can happen for tonight. We have our 61 level. This is the most important as well. If we can't hold above here, then we will go down. Okay, if we come and test this zone, okay, this area too could be a nice little bounce zone. Either you come bounce a little above here in the middle, or you'll get a nice bounce on the 50. Or if you don't do the 50, then I would assume, down here, boom. So could bounce here, 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 here. So look for those zones, for those engulfing candles, for potential bounces into those zones. The best thing that I would do though, okay, the best thing is always to play these levels. Let the price come, lower than the band, and then once it breaks up back through, hit the buy. Let the price break lower than its level. Once it comes back through, hit the buy. Okay, I like to do those. Those hit all the time. They're easy, they work, and if you're just patient, let it come back through, then hit the buy. Those are always good. No brainers. Those are always the good no trades. Okay. What else? What else? What else? I think that's it, guys. Oh, this is what I want you to do. So when you're showing me your trades at the end, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna hide all your drawings. You're gonna leave your VWAPs and all your EMAs, and then you're gonna come over here to the 1 minute, and then you're gonna come over here to price levels or fills and orders, show trades, and this. Okay, and then you want to show these right here. Boom. Okay, I want to see this. Okay, I want to see. I want to see a whole snapshot of this. So if you traded here into here, then I want to see this snapshot. I want you to take a picture, um, Command Shift 4, and then go that, and you can email it to me or you can text it to me, or however you want to send it, just send it to me so I can see the price levels, you're actually what you traded. Okay, I usually like to see the whole session. Since these are so close together, then that's fine. But I want to see the whole Asian, London, and New York session. If you traded it, if you only traded New York session, then just only snapshot, where you traded it during the times of the New York session that you're trading. I do recommend that if you're not profitable trading New York, maybe don't trade evals and all that in Asian and London. Maybe just your demo until you get better and profitable at New York session. Okay. For tomorrow, I'll go ahead and I'll put another video out for what I think the market's gonna do based off how it reacts overnight, and that's it. Okay, and let me know if you have any questions. Let me know one-on-one if there's anything else I can help y'all guys with. But remember, just right now, most important zones are gonna be your here and here. If we're below here, we head down. Where's price coming up to right now? It's coming up to this zone. Okay, if we're going to truly reject and continue downward, we shouldn't be getting higher than right here. Okay, we need to stay under right here. So all right, guys, well, that's pretty much it. It's pretty much all I got for now. If you have any questions, again, just get with me, and I'll go ahead and put out another market analysis for tomorrow morning.